Hi, I'm Brian West. I'm with the Northwest Steelheaders. Today we're out here partnered with Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife to put on a plunking clinic on Sauvies Island. We've partnered with ODFW so that they can bring some of their expertise, help us with the regulations, some of the gear, and us steelheaders are helping with actually catching the fish off the beach here. Part of why we picked Sauvies Island is this is a great beach to learn how to plunk. Spring Chinook are swimming by right now. This beach is a really clean, smooth surface that as you cast out into the river, you never lose your gear. It's actually great. It's very family friendly also. There's a couple of things before you come you're gonna wanna think about. You're gonna need to make sure, if you're gonna be fishing, you need to make sure you have your fishing license, your angling license. On top of that, you'll need your salmon, steelhead, and sturgeon tag. That's important because we're fishing for salmon today. And you're also going to want your Columbia River Basin endorsement since we're fishing on the Columbia River. All those things are important to make sure you have before you come out and fish. So since we're plunking today, what you're going to want is a rod and reel that can handle plunking and also Chinook, right? So Chinook are big, powerful fish. So in general, what you're looking for is a fishing rod that can handle about 8 ounces. That's the typical weight we use out here. We cast an 8-ounce pyramid. So you're gonna need a rod that can handle that. You're also gonna need a reel that can handle Chinook. A lot of guys use bait casters, the big round bait caster style. You could use a spinning reel. It's not as common, but both will work. From a line perspective, I personally use 50-pound braid. If you wanted to go into a mono, a 30-pound mono would also work. You're gonna need a rod holder that will fit into the sand. Sand is real soft surface, so you could do anything from PVC pipe is a great material to use. Also, out here, just to get started, we've set everyone up with just your basic plunking rig, which is gonna involve a plunking spreader, a leader with your hook, which has an egg loop, and then a spinning glow. From the spreader, you're gonna have maybe 6 inches, a foot that drops down to your weight, the pyramid weight that you'll cast out. Here on this beach, one of the great things is you don't have to cast very far. The fish swim in a lot closer than you think. So as long as you're casting within your abilities, you're fishing. Don't worry about it. You'll have a chance to catch a salmon. There's a lot more to it, but those are some of the basics. So this is the basic setup. We've got, coming off the spreader bar, we've got number 2 spinning glow. This is chrome and green, which is great for a Chinook. In between the hook and the spinning glow, we've got about a 6mm bead that leads to the 2-watt hook. In this case, it's barbless since this is the Columbia and it needs to be barbless. Also, in front of the spinning glow, we've got another bead that helps keep weeds from working its way into the spinning glow and slowing it down. The line coming off the spreader bar to the hook, that's gonna be, you're gonna use about a 25-pound, you could use 30. This is Chinook, right? So we need a heavy line. This is mono that works perfect for plunking. This is just your basic plunking spreader. You can find this any fishing store, or you can even make it yourself if you like, but this spreader helps keep your spinning glow and gear from tangling with the rest of your line while you cast it through the air. You can see the line comes off the bar and then comes down to the dropper, which is your pyramid weight. Since we're fishing on sand, you can get it right next to the bottom. I mean, this is only 6 inches or so. I'll have dual lock, so you can unclip and change weights or take it off when you go home. And in this case, this is an 8-ounce pyramid, which is perfect for out here. So for the dual lock, all you need to do is just grab a hold of it here, press in and unclip it, and that'll open it up. And you can unhook your pyramid weight. There you go. So you can change it out, or when you're done fishing at the end of the day, you don't need to carry the weight with the rig. All right, so here's the basic rig that we talked about. And now I'm gonna hook it up to my main line so we can get ready to cast it out. So I'll take my main line. I have my braid hooked into my dual lock I'm gonna hook that in there, clip it shut. Make sure you clip that shut so you don't lose your gear. And then there we go. We're ready to cast. I'm gonna reel this down. Bring it back, get the rod ready, kind of figure out where I want to cast to, and let it fly. Okay, so you'll feel it dropping through the water for a while. There it goes, it just hit bottom. Took a couple seconds. So now I'm gonna take it, set it in my rod holder. And then usually I take a little bit of the slack line out so that I get a little bit of tension. The top of my rod will bend a little bit. I'm gonna take my bell, set it on the rod, and we're fishing.
This is a spring Chinook.
And how can we tell? There's a couple things. One, all of these spots, and color is very hard to, you don't always want to go by color, but a really big thing with kings and Chinook is the gums. What's interesting about the gums then, Mark?
Well, they're all black, and so they're completely lined black gums.
Black gums, yep. And kings usually, or Chinooks, excuse me, usually have very olive green backs and lots of spots. Spots on the tail. The difference, a coho or silver will not have a whole lot of spots here, and they also will have a very whitish or silver mouth, mostly white. And how can we tell that this is a keeper fish is the lack of an adipose fin. And so right here, there would be a fin here. And this is incredibly confusing.
You can see the bump where it was.
Oh, exactly, yeah. Yes. It was confusing pulling it up. It had this mark here, but you can definitely tell that that was an adipose there.
Yeah.
So, legal, beautiful.
The other thing with Chinook is they're really slimy fish. You can really smell them compared to a steelhead or a coho.
Smells good. Yeah. Anyways, wonderful fish, Mark.